What would you see if no one was watching? In the hushed stillness of a world untouched by time, the ancient forest of Elder Grove lay nestled in a remote valley, shrouded in a veil of verdant mystery. Towering trees reached towards a sky marred by foreboding clouds, their twisting roots emerging from the dark earth like gnarled fingers grasping for secrets long forgotten. Here, reality frayed at the edges, and the whispers of those who had wandered into the trees echoed through the air like a haunting lullaby. The town of Waverly, though quaint, was plagued by unspoken fears. Flickering lights, shadowy figures, and strange patterns in the sky that flickered out of existence as soon as they were observed. Many had gone into Elder Grove, few had returned, and those who did were forever changed. It was in this palpable tension that our story begins, with a young woman named Clara, driven by a hunger for revelation. A scientist curious, yet burdened by a thirst for knowledge that ran perilously deep. What if everything you knew was wrong? She would often ponder, the question echoing through her mind as she entered the murky woods, a flashlight in hand, its beam a frail barrier against the encroaching darkness. Today, Clara sought something specific, a phenomenon she had come to refer to as the glimmer, a flickering light seen only from the fringes of the forest at the stroke of midnight, captivating and terrifying the beholders. With each cautious step, Clara could feel the forest breathing, its exhalations whispering ancient incantations. The air crackled with static, as if veils between worlds thinned and the landscape pulsated with a rhythm of its own, a heartbeat unseen, yet felt beneath her skin. She could not shake the feeling that she was being watched, her every move scrutinized by eyes not of this world. Hours passed as time sank into an abyss, and anticipation twisted her insides into knots. Then, just as whispers of doubt began to gnaw at her resolve, the glimmer pierced the shadows, a dazzling, iridescent orb, weaving in and out of sight with an almost sentient grace. Clara felt a magnetic pull, a beckoning to those who had ventured too far. "What would you see?" she murmured breathlessly, entranced by the fading light. She followed through thickets of bramble that tore at her clothes, deeper into the heart of the Eldar Grove. The air thickened with tension, an oppressive familiarity, as if the forest itself sought to consume her. In the distance, a low hum reverberated, an alien symphony just outside her comprehension. Then it happened. The ground beneath her shifted, and Clara stumbled, her world tilting on its axis. The glimmer expanded, revealing a grotesque figure emerging from the shadows, a form that was both familiar and utterly foreign. It moved with an unsettling fluidity, elongated limbs twisting unnaturally as if it were spun from the fabric of nightmares. A phosphorescent sheen coated its skin, rippling like oil on water, and its multitude of eyes glowed like distant stars, each blinking in a hypnotic synchrony. Clara's instincts screamed at her to flee, yet she stood frozen, consumed by a terror so profound it morphed into a twisted curiosity. She gazed deep into the entity's myriad eyes, those unfathomable depths reflecting her every fear, every secret thought. Was it a creature, or a reflection of her own madness? What forbidden knowledge lay behind those luminous orbs? Time warped, the world fragmented, and a strange understanding flowed between them, a communion that transcended language. As visions flooded her mind, Clara glimpsed dark futures woven into the fabric of existence. The echoes of civilizations devoid of reason, of entities lurking in the veil between stars, thriving off suffering and despair, nutritious sustenance for ancient, slumbering horrors. Each image forced her throat tight, and she felt herself teetering on the brink of sanity. Panic surged within her as the sounds of the forest morphed into a cacophony, a symphony of lost souls crying for release. Shadows danced menacingly, flickering and shifting, igniting the primal instinct to escape. But the more she pulled away, the stronger the sensation of being hunted grew, as if her very fear fueled the dark entity. Suddenly, as if sensing her distress, the glimmer flickered and zipped around her, an unnameable force capturing her in a moment of scintillating dread. Clara closed her eyes as the world erupted into vibrant chaos, an explosion of colors that twisted reality into a non-linear maelstrom of time and consciousness. She watched in horror as the creature shifted, drawing her closer into the depths of its gaze, and felt her own mind fracturing under the weight of truths beyond human comprehension. And then a haunting phrase echoed in the void. Knowledge is but a veil, an illusion easily pierced. With that, the glimmer surged, colliding into Clara, a rush of electric energy that fractured her perception, unveiling not a glimpse but an entire expanse of existence. She understood then. She was inside a moment, iterating over realities that overlapped, each threading through one another just out of reach. Finally, as quickly as it began, this maddening journey came to an end. Clara sat amidst the shadows, her heart pounding, gasping for air. The being was gone, leaving only an oppressive silence echoing in the now still forest. In the fading light, she let out a shuddering breath, the taste of copper lingering in her mouth, a remnant, perhaps, of the otherworldly communion she had barely survived. The shadows around her now whispered a terrible truth. While Clara's body would return to the world, the knowledge gleaned would claw at the edges of her sanity, echoing through her mind eternally. The forest had shared a sliver of forbidden insight, a shard of the bizarre tapestry of existence woven with cosmic threads, knowing that some secrets are better left unspoken. As she stepped back into the world, the last rays of twilight slipped away, and the familiar landscape of Waverly seemed foreign and disquieted. The hollow eyes of the townsfolk, once comforting, felt now like mirrors reflecting fragments of her awoken self, one that knew too much. She understood with a creeping dread that she had glimpsed the void, a glimpse of everything that lay behind the veil, a fragment of the truth that lurked within the unfathomable. The universe is stranger than our minds can imagine, and as it swallows its secrets, Clara was left to wonder. What would others see if no one was watching? To find